Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. It's Greg the Beast with the Beasting Out segment this week. Now, we always give you 2 go hards and 2 go softs. I have a little bit of suspense for you. This week, I have one player that's coming off a 4-week suspension that is going to have an awesome matchup. I have another player that's coming off a 4-week suspension that has a horrible matchup. Are you wondering what they are? Let's get to it and let's find out who they are. The first one is tight end Antonio Gates of the Chargers. He is my first go hard, and he is going up against the Steelers on Monday Night Football. Actually, one of our Steelers super fans, Phil, he's actually going to be at the game. He's a huge Steelers fan. He can't wait to be there. Antonio Gates can't wait to be there either because he's been suspended, and I think he's going to have a fantastic week this week. The Steelers' D gives up the 4th most fantasy points to tight ends. He is ready and raring to go. You, of course, have been putting up with tight end Ladarius Green over there, and he has been kind of up and down and up and down and up and down. Gates was solid for you last season. He's going to do it for you this season. There's no reason not to put him in. I've been chomping at the bit to put him in my lineup. Make sure you get him in this week. So my second go hard for this week is running back Todd Gurley of the Rams, who we know was injury plagued and now is off of his injury. And last week was awesome against the Cardinals. 19 rushes, 146 yards, damn good showing. And I know the first thing I'm hearing it in my head. I'm hearing Prost go, one-hit blunder, one-hit blunder. No, Todd Gurley is not a one-hit blunder, Prost. I am sorry. He's going to do awesome. He's up against your Packers defense. That's right, Prost. They give up the 14th most fantasy points to running backs. He's ready and solid to go. He was a little slow, I know, last week, early in the game, and I was freaking people out. But in the second half, he lost his mind. So I have a feeling he's going to have a very solid game against the Packers. Make sure you get him in your lineup this week in Week 5. Let's get on to my Go Softs. We have Martavis Bryant. He is the other player that has come off a 4-week suspension, and he has a crappy matchup this week. I was actually super bummed. You draft these guys, you have them sit there on your bench, and you can't wait to play them. And then all of a sudden you see the matchup, and you're like, uh-oh. This ain't cool. First of all, you have Vic as your quarterback. I would have a bit more confidence if I had Big Ben at quarterback, but we saw what Vic did last week, and he's older. He's not the old Vic. He's not as mobile. He is getting around, but he's not lighting it up for Antonio Brown. He's not lighting it up for a lot of players out there. So I don't have a lot of confidence. And then you have the Chargers defense. As I said, they're playing them on Monday night. They give up the 2nd fewest points, fantasy points to wide receivers. They're going to be killing them. It ain't going to happen. Unless you really have to play him, unless you really are going nuts, I'm not putting him in any of my leagues this week. I'm waiting for next week for a better matchup. My second go soft for you this week is Andy Dalton, of course, the quarterback over there on the Bengals. And you're saying, Greg, damn it. Andy Dalton has been killing it for me week after week after week. 41 fantasy points one week. 43 fantasy points another week. 66 fantasy points. 45 fantasy points. Dude, why aren't you letting me play him this week? He's not going to get over 30 this week because he is playing, yep, that's right, the Legion of Boom. And the last time, the one and only time Andy Dalton played the Legion of Boom over there in Seattle in 2011, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, not something you want to see on your fantasy stat sheet. And it's just another one of those cases where you have a hot quarterback. If you have a backup, I'd put him in this week because I don't think Dalton's going to put up the numbers that you want. The Seahawks D gives up the 6th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks. It's just going to be ugly. It always pains me. You're riding a guy, and then he comes up against really, really hard defense, and it just frustrates you. You're sitting there going, I got to play him. You know, he's the guy I got. I've been riding him all season. I'm not afraid to put in my backup. That's why you draft a good backup. That's at least my strategy. I know a lot of people don't have a backup quarterback in their lineup. I do, just for that reason. You have that person, you stick them in, they hopefully have a better matchup, and then you get better fantasy points that week. So I, again, would sit Dalton this week. So those are my go hards and go softs. Good luck in week 5. At the beginning of the show, we talked about we were at Tin Horn this week, of course, watching our Bears eke out a win over the Raiders, and it was complete bedlam. And then for an after party, we went over to the Hollywood Way, awesome bar that Jenny works at, and we partied our rocks off there. We met some really cool people, and so we have over there, we have one solid diehard Raider fan and one solid diehard Bears fan. Of course, Anthony, our mayor of the Bears bar over there at the Tin Horn, and they have a face-off. You know, we don't get into a fight or nothing, but they both give how they feel each team did for the game. So let's go to the tape.